What's up, folks? Welcome to another blade overview. This is the titanium Kizer Lätt Vind. It is not the Lätt Vind Mini, which crops up whenever you search for Lätt Vind. This one's far less widely available and advertised and is older than the Mini, as is usually the case with minis and stuff. So you've actually got like a 3.5 inch blade in this one, but I think it weighs something like 2.8 ounces. So it's you get a real kind of value for money in terms of blade length or weight. And you've got this lovely crown spine. I believe Justin Lundquist is the designer. He sometimes does with his knives. Pretty inauspicious, good clip. Then you've got this really interesting holey scale, which is on both sides, so you can see through it. One thing to note, which is a bit of a downside in terms of ergos, is look how wide the lock bar is compared to the rest of the scale. So that makes mishandling it, or i.e. putting pressure on the lock bar when you're trying to deploy it, just that bit easier, and therefore a bit worse in terms of ergos, I guess. And you'll be noting that it's got two flippers. So flip it already. Okay, here we go. So already I'm very conscious of where I'm putting my fingers, because if my finger's here, it's not going to flip. So I'm basically sticking to the holes. Welcome back. So now I'll show you the action of this really interesting TI Lätt Vind. And one thing to note is, as before, you need to be very careful with your fingers, because it's a frame lock with an enormous ratio of lock bar to scale. Bear with that in mind. I will be using my two fingers like this to front flip it, like so. And once you know the kind of magical finger jujitsu magic, it's easy peasy. And it flips nicely. It's a long blade, so it doesn't feel supernatural like some shorter ones, but it works very well. No complaints. It's reliable, and the in-hand feel is good, very good. In fact, you've got this really nice, comfortable jimping, stopping you from riding up on the blade. Not that I would recommend you do hard puncturing of vinyl piping or anything with this. Yep. And then when you've got your regular flipper tab, you've got to be even more careful with your index finger. I've found this actually okay to lay your index finger kind of like across the back, because then it doesn't actually touch the lock bar, he says, as it touches the lock bar. It's been a couple of days since I've used this knife. How was I doing it? Okay, ignore that. So now I'm just going to basically put my index finger on the holey part, the non-lock bar part, and it's very nice. As long as you follow the rules and you learn where to put your fingers every time. And given that it's a 3.5 inch blade, it's very snappy indeed. You cannot do a push button, because the front flipper tab rotates around and hits you on the top of the nail, and it really hurts. No, I mean, joking. It just stops it from deploying. Once more, the acoustics are nothing to write home about. Here we go. And here's the front flip. Try not to whack the phone here. So nothing to write home about, nothing horrendous, but overall, of course, when it's open, you've got the cool kind of see-through thing going on with the holey scales and the go faster silver stripe, which does actually make the deploy go slightly faster. If it was red, then the deploy would probably just go so fast you wouldn't even see it, or break the sound barrier or something as it locked up. Anyway, crap jokes aside, enjoyable, light, solid feeling, significantly better than the minis in my opinion. Pick it up if it's 85 or less, I would recommend. This is the Lätt Vind Ti.